What's up, guys? It's Jay with Bearded Dad Fishing, and I got my little man's here, Jesse. And if you're looking for a stable kayak, but not quite ready to jump into a pedal drive or a motorized kayak, then this video is just for you. I put together a list of the 7 most stable paddle kayaks currently available on the market. But first, dad joke of the day, why did Waldo go to therapy? Because he needed to find himself. And if you have a dad joke, make sure you comment it down below and it might be in one of my next videos. So we're gonna go from the least amount of weight capacity all the way to the highest weight capacity. So if you wanna see how heavy duty these things get, make sure you watch till the end. And number 1 on our list is the Three Waters Big Fish 120. Now this kayak is 12 foot long, 35 inches wide, comes in at a 100-pound hull weight with a weight capacity of 400 pounds. And that weight capacity is possible thanks to the hull design, which they call the trimaran hull, and it's essentially 2 outer pontoons with 1 in the center, allowing for added stability, especially for bigger guys like myself that like to stand and fish on the water. Now this kayak is just made for stability. It's made for big dudes, it's made for big waters, and it's made for a smooth ride. You'll also notice it has a huge molded in handle in the front that can also double as a tie down point when you're transporting it. And it has plenty of storage as well, with a large front tank well and of course one in the stern as well. It also has a removable sonar pod, which is nice. If you decide to run your sonar through the hull, you can do that as well. And if you don't use it for your sonar setup, well then that's just more dry storage for you to use as well. And a lot of folks really rave about the seats. So it's fully adjustable, so front to back, up and down. And it has the cool mesh as well. So if you're out there on a hot day, you don't gotta worry about getting your cheeks all sweaty from your seat. It's a nice, cool, breathable material. It also has a lot of the standard features that you'll see on a lot of these kayaks, with the adjustable footrests, with the flush-mounted rod holders. It has 2 flush-mounted rod holders. It also has horizontal rod storage, the rod tip protectors in the front, which is a nice added touch as well. And lastly, it also has a stand assist strap if that's something that you're looking for. And the Three Waters Big Fish 120 is $900 at the time of filming this video. And number 2 on our list is the Feel-Free Lure 11.5, as well as the Feel-Free Lure 13.5 V2. And the manufacturer of the Feel-Free is also the same manufacturer of the Three Waters as well that we just talked about. So a lot of the features are gonna be the same, but the 11.5 is 11.5 feet long, 34 inches wide, 87-pound hull weight, and a weight capacity of 425 pounds. While the 13.5 is 13.5 feet, 34 inches wide, 107-pound hull, which is pretty heavy, and a 500-pound weight capacity. So massive weight capacities when we're talking about, especially this 13.5 Feel-Free Lure. And it also has that same hull design that we saw on the Three Waters Big Fish 120. It also is jam-packed with a lot of storage options. It has the tank well in the stern, but in this model, you have a lockable front hatch, which is a nice added touch. So if you're trying to keep things that are a little bit more dry there, some extra change of clothes or some items, your keys, your wallet, etc., you can put them in the front hatch, which is a nice feature to have. And you'll see that large molded in front handle too. A big difference though with this Feel-Free Lure is that both models have what they call the gravity seat. So this seat is a lot more versatile. It's adjustable front, back, up and down, but it's a lot more padded and more comfortable of a seat, especially for those longer days out on the water. Another really cool feature that Feel-Free incorporated into both of these kayaks is the wheel in the keel. And it's exactly that, a large wheel in the stern of the kayak. So it'll allow you to drag your kayak, move it around, wheel it around essentially, without having to bring an extra set of wheels. It also has the removable sonar pod, the stand assist strap as well, foam deck pads, which is a nice added touch, and it has accessory rails on both sides of the kayak so you can swag it out with all your gear. Another added touch is that these kayaks are pre-wired for a rudder. So if you decide to get the rudder kit from Feel-Free, the installation is seamless and everything's already set up so that those wires are out of the way and in a convenient location. And these kayaks, oddly enough, are both priced at the same price point. At the time of shooting this video, they are both $1,200, and I'll make sure to link them down below in the description so you can check those out. And kayak number 3 is hugely popular on the Kayak Fishing Dads Facebook group. So if you're not part of the group, look us up on Facebook. It's called Kayak Fishing Dads, and make sure you join the conversation. And number 3 is the Old Town Sportsman 106 and 120. Both great kayaks with tons of features. Now the 106 is 10.5 feet long, 34.5 inches wide with a hull weight of 77 pounds and a weight capacity of 440 pounds. Now the 120 is 12 feet long, 33.5 inches wide. It has a hull weight of 85 pounds and a weight capacity of a staggering 500 pounds. And the double U hull design of the Old Town Sportsman is a big factor in why it has such high weight capacities. It makes for an ultra stable platform. Again, great for standing up, great for bigger dudes. Anybody that's looking to get a little bit more oomph out of their kayak, these make for an awesome and comfortable ride. Now both models have a lot of storage. They have huge tank wells in the rear, but the real showstopper for me is the fact that they have huge front hatches that you can fit with a ton of gear. You can use it for battery setups, putting in your electronics, or for storing your rods. On my 120 PDL, I've been able to put 7 and 8 rods in there when I'm going on a fishing trip, and everything fits in there seamlessly. It runs from front to back, so there's tons of options with what you can put on those front hatches. There's also storage under the seat for tackle boxes and extra gear, and as well as side pockets on either side of the user where you can put another tackle box or a drink or some food or whatever it is that you need to take. So there's plenty of storage option on both of these models. Both models have generous tracks on either side for accessories, has a cup holder, and they have 3 flush mounted rod holders with 2 facing to the rear and 1 facing to the front, which I think is actually really useful. When you're landing a fish, you could just throw your rod in there and be able to work with the fish, with the net, anything that you have to do without having the rod face in a weird or awkward direction. And Old Town now has 4 colorways in these kayaks. It used to just be the Photic camo and the Ember camo, but now they have the Steel camo and the Marsh camo as well, which look really, really sharp. Now these options are a little bit more pricey than the options we just went over, but the 106 comes in at $1,300 while the 120 is $1,600 at the time of filming. And number 4 on our list is the Bonafide SS127. Now, if you've seen this kayak, it's probably been on the channels of Chad Hoover and the Fluke Master, because both of these guys love this kayak. Now, the Bonafide SS127 comes in at 12 feet and 7 inches long, 33.5 inches wide, 75-pound hull weight, and a weight capacity of 475 pounds. And that's a pretty impressive weight capacity for being that it's a little bit more narrower at 33.5 inches, but that's one of the things that makes it shine about this particular kayak. Now this kayak is versatile and it does great in big lakes, small lakes, but it really shines in rivers, and a lot of river fishermen love this kayak since it's a little bit more narrow and easier to maneuver. But being that it's narrow, it still has plenty of storage options. Of course, you get that stern tank well, but you also get that hatch in the bow with tons of room for storage and wiring electronics. It also has the underseat drawer system, so you can toss in your whatever lures you're working with, whatever extra gear you have, which is a nice touch. And it has a dry pod as well in the center, so you can keep your wallet, your keys, and other things that you might not want to get wet. A really nice feature that Bonafide added is the fact that the tracks are aluminum, so they're much sturdier than a lot of the plastic tracks that come on other kayaks. So it's all aluminum tracks for your gears. It also has foam deck pads and adjustable footrest as well. A feature that makes this kayak popular is the fact that you can easily mount a motor to the bow or the stern of the kayak. There's adapters and there's mounts that make it possible in a snap, really easy, and that makes it a popular option for fishermen. It also comes in 4 different colorways, which I think look pretty sharp. And this kayak is the most expensive on the list so far at $1,750. And big shout out to Trevor Wagner, who's the newest channel member to the Bearded Daft fishing community. Now, if you want to become a channel member, I'll put a link in the description below. You get great access to behind the scenes footage, early access to videos, swag and sticker packs, and a lot of great options. So make sure you check it out, and I hope to see you as a channel member. And number 5 on our list is the Kaku Zulu. And then if you haven't heard about this kayak, don't feel bad because I've only recently learned about it as well. Now this kayak is 12 feet 7 inches long, 35 inches wide, has a hull weight of 85 pounds and a weight capacity of 500 pounds. One of the first things you'll notice when you see this kayak is the fact that it's a hybrid design between a stand-up paddleboard and a kayak. It doesn't have tank wells, it's just an open, large deck space, allowing you to customize it and making it exactly how you want to make it. It does have dry hatches both in the bow of the boat and in the stern as well. So you have room for storage if you're trying to tuck something away that you don't want to get wet. It also has tons and tons of aluminum rails, which I think is a really nice feature. Anytime you can have a lot of rails on a kayak without having to add them yourself, it's a really clutch move. Plus they're aluminum, so they're even sturdier than a lot of the other options out there. One of the first things that caught my attention with this kayak is the chair. It's a big, comfortable chair. It sits up high, so you get that higher vantage point, as well as you don't have to feel like you're sitting back, scooched into a smaller kayak. So it gives that whole big kayak vibe in the chair. It also has multiple mounting points as well in the rear of the kayak, allowing you to put your motor exactly where you want it, allowing you to put 1 or 2 power poles exactly where you want it, which is a really nice touch. One of my favorite things about this kayak is the fact that it's upgradable to a pedal drive later on. So if you don't want to buy the pedal drive right away, you could just buy the kayak straight up by itself, and then later on buy the pedal drive whenever you're ready. It has a hole right in the middle where the drive pops right in, and when you're ready to make that upgrade, you can do so easily. And the Kaku Zulu comes in at $1,425, and if you decide to buy the pedal drive, it's another $750. And number 6 on our list is a big boy kayak in every sense of the word, and it's one of the most popular kayaks in the big boy community. It's the Nucanoe Unlimited. Now this kayak is 12.5 feet long, 41 inches wide. That's almost 3.5 feet wide. This thing is a beast. It's 84 pounds for the hull, and it has a weight capacity of 650 pounds. Incredible weight capacity, largely due to how wide this kayak is. And of course, with that width, you're gonna get a little bit of a heavier kayak, but you're also gonna have tons of customizing options, and you can really deck it out without feeling like everything's in the way because you have such a large deck on this kayak. And speaking about customizing, this kayak comes with 22 feet of rails. Yes, 22 feet of rails on this kayak, so you can truly customize this kayak to your heart's desire. There's tons and tons of options of what you could do. It also has wiring access points as well. So if you're running your through haul wires, running your motor, running your batteries, it comes with ports already that you can access your wires. Another great feature of the Nucanoe is the fact that just like the Kaku Zulu, you can upgrade later to a motor or a pedal drive on this kayak separately. So you buy just the kayak and later on decide which way you want to go if you want to upgrade, and you can buy the pedal drive and install it right on the deck. And this pedal drive's a little bit different. It doesn't actually go through the whole of the kayak. It's wired to the back, and your drive itself is actually by your rudder in the rear. It also has a very comfortable chair. They call it the 360 Fusion seat, and it's the 360 because that sucker spins all the way around, so you can do anything you want to do on this 41-inch 360 seat kayak. So it's a lot of great options for bigger dudes. It sits up high, it rotates, it adjusts exactly how you want to adjust it on the water, making for an ultra comfortable ride. And lastly, another really cool feature is the fact that the transom can support a 2.5 horsepower motor. So if you want to add a gas motor, this is the kayak for you. And the Nucanoe Unlimited comes in at $1,800 at the time of filming. And number 7 on our list, which has the most weight capacity, yes, more than 650 pounds, which is just insane, is the Vanhunks Elite Pro Angler 13. Now this kayak is 13 feet long, 35.5 inches wide, 77 pounds for the whole weight, with a weight capacity of 660 pounds. And I've heard from a lot of big dudes that absolutely love this kayak. It is an ultra stable kayak for sure for bigger guys like us. And just like the Unlimited and the Zulu, it is also upgradable to a pedal drive. But in addition to the fact that it has an upgradable option to have a pedal drive, It can either have a prop-driven drive or a fin drive, which even gives it a little bit more level of versatility, depending if you want to use fins or if you'd rather use a prop for your kayak. But you could just buy the kayak hull and then upgrade it later on if that's something you want to do. It comes with 4 flush-mounted rod holders, but to me, the real winner is how much storage this kayak has. It has an absolutely huge tank well in the stern with a smaller tank well in the bow as well. It has underseat storage, again, for all your extra gear, all your extra lures that you want to toss under there. It also has a center storage that can be used for your valuables or a battery pod if you have your electronics set up. It has a dry storage right behind the seat and tackle storage on both sides of the seat. So it is just riddled with storage options. So if you're looking for tons of storage, this is the kayak for you. If you're talking about long days on the water, multiple days on the water, kayak camping, this is definitely a kayak you want to look at. And one of the best things about this kayak is the price point. So it comes in lower than a lot of the other competitors at just $1,445. And if you decide to get the pedal drive, whether it's the prop drive or the fin drive, you're looking at another $600 to that price tag. And if you thought this video was helpful, make sure you subscribe and check out my favorite kayak fishing accessories right here. So till next time, guys, peace and God bless.